All right, so we just... Oh! Damn, Jeremy, when you shave, you clean up, you're pretty hot. Jeremy couldn't come this week because he's evading the FBI over all that child porn he has on his computer. Lots and lots of child porn. He's broke. So am I. I'm here because my mom got us a gift card. This is my friend Krista. Half the people who watch these videos already know who you are because half the people who watch these we went to high school with.
Right, right.
Krista is probably my oldest friend I still talk to. I think we've known each other. When did you start NCH? In like 89?
Yeah, I was like 7.
Yeah, like since 1989 we've known each other, so weren't friends that whole time, but
no.
So we just saw Ant-Man and the Wasp. A little late on this one. This one came out like a month ago. But a lot of movies have got this summer has just been filled with movies. Deadpool, Avengers, Incredibles. There's so many things I wanted to see and I didn't get to see. I wanted to see Purge. I didn't get to see The Purge.
Oh yeah.
Now you've never seen the first Ant-Man. Not having seen that, how did you feel about this movie?
I didn't think you really needed to see the first one. I understood it completely. There was a lot of references that I kind of wish I would have known, and you did kind of tell me some of them, but it still makes me want to go back and watch the movie. I don't feel like it spoils the first movie.
No, and it's the first movie is really good. It was like one of those sleeper movies, kind of like Guardians, where I watched it like, this ain't gonna be any good. It's Ant-Man. I mean, I only read Ant-Man when he was in the Avengers comics. I never read Ant-Man's individual comic books, like ever. Even now, I don't. But I think this one was just as good as the first Ant-Man, and I really dug the first Ant-Man. So, yeah, it's It's nice to have a nice, warm-hearted Marvel film after an Infinity War.
Right.
That was so depressing, and this one was like kind of a breath of fresh air. This video probably won't be real long because it's like super humid out here.
Nice after rain humidity.
Yeah, feels like I'm raining in. That's why I need to lose weight. God. While we were sitting in there, I had to like do this because my legs were sticking to the chair. It was so hot. So, I really liked this movie. It had a lot of really good, cool new characters. I love the fact that the villain is not really a villain.
Yeah, like, that's my favorite.
There is a bad guy in this movie played by Walton Goggins, who I love anyway, and he's like one of the best parts of the movie, the actual bad guy. But the person in the preview and the trailers that they say is like the villain, she's not really a villain. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a very sympathetic character.
Right.
So, what did you think?
I think it was like a perfect mix of funny and serious. Mm-hmm. One thing I love about Marvel videos is that they always have like I don't know how to say it, like a good mix of comedy. They have a good mix of seriousness. I love the freaking fight scenes.
Oh, that first fight scene in the movie where they fought in the kitchen, that's like one of my favorite Marvel fight scenes in a movie like ever.
Yeah, that
was awesome.
And I love how they utilized the whole size thing too.
Mm-hmm. I thought that would get old, but it never did.
No.
The CGI in this movie is amazing. Mm-hmm. Like every review's talked about it now. They show Michael Douglas like when he's like 30 years ago, and man, they did good with that. I mean, if you thought they did good with Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War, it's even better here because it looks like him.
I do have a hard time seeing where the CGI and the actual live action is.
There was one time towards the beginning of the film that I could actually see. It was very brief, but there was like a little tear there, and you could kind of see where the building, the one that shrinks down, you could see the edge of its CGI against the whatever backdrop it was against, but it was like brief. Mm-hmm. It wasn't in like I think what was the Hitman's Bodyguard where they CGI'd a car coming out of a garage.
I think a lot of the times you have to be just looking in the right place to catch that stuff.
It's kind of like with Justice League. If they'd never had told us that Henry Cavill had his mustache CGI'd out, I wouldn't have been looking for it and wouldn't have noticed that big, huge open spot on his lip. Oh, you haven't seen Justice League yet?
No.
Oh, I like Justice League. It's not great, but it's pretty damn good.
I heard about the mustache thing, though.
Yeah. I will say this about Justice League. That's the most Batman I've seen Batman be on screen, like, ever. Like, the opening, there's a fight scene with Batman and this other guy, and it's just like, that just felt like Batman. So, I recommend that one. Mm. But this one was really good. Michelle Pfeiffer has I don't, in her late stage, she's in her like early 60s, I think now.
My dad has the biggest crush on her.
Oh, how can you not? She's still hot.
Yeah.
But she's done some of the best acting she's done in her entire life in just the last couple years, like with this. And I don't know if you saw Murder on the Orient Express. She was fantastic in that.
You did tell me that was good.
Yeah, that's a movie that the first time I watched it, at the end, I was like, oh, that kind of drags out and it got boring. But then my second viewing, knowing that it was going to drag out, I was like, okay, it wasn't so bad this time. So that definitely is a movie you got to watch twice. God, it's hard to review Marvel films because you want to spoil them. You want to tell people like, oh, watch for this. Hey, this part happens.
Really just got to say, like, they're consistently what you'd expect. It's humor. It's good storylines. It's easy to follow.
And what's her name? Evangeline Lilly, right? I love her.
Yeah.
She is such a great actress. She's so underrated. I loved her in the Hobbit films.
Yes.
Just loved her in those. And she kind of felt like the character felt similar. Like those smiles she would get, her facial like acting, it felt very similar. I can't remember her name. What was her name in...
Don't remember that.
Yeah, because it wasn't a character from the books. They invented it for the movie, which I didn't mind. I know some people hate it, but I don't care. You had to make 3 movies out of 1 book. Of course, you have to put some new characters in there. God, I can't believe I don't remember her name, because I usually remember all that shit. Because
it was very elfy.
Yeah, Elfie McElferfuck. You know, there had to have been a moment in her mind in the Wasp when he got really big where she had to think,
Yeah, right.
I wonder, can I just attach this to here and...
You think of everything.
I would totally use that. And I go outside and be like, so you have a samurai sword in your pants? No. It's so hard to be inappropriate with a woman in the car, even though I've known you for like 3 times as long as I've known Jeremy. But yeah, you missed this one, dude. You should have come to see this one. This one was pretty good. I will say the other Marvel films that came out this year, I did like those a little better. Like Avengers has been my favorite movie of the year so far. That's my favorite movie of all the movies that came out. That and Hotel Artemis are like my 2 favorite movies of the year.
I'll have to watch that one.
But I mean, Black Panther and Deadpool were great movies, fantastic movies. But I think they were both a little bit better than this Ant-Man movie. But it was still a solid movie. It's like another solid Marvel film. Marvel just continues to keep delivering. I mean, and even though the Sony ones that are coming out later this year that are just in association with Marvel, which is going to be that Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales Spider-Man cartoon movie that's coming out in Christmas, and the Venom movie comes out in, I think, September. That Venom trailer we got today actually made me more interested in the movie.
I know. I was real interested, like, throughout the whole thing. I'm, like, leaning forward in the seat and everything.
Yeah, I was like, this is... I mean, it has some of the stuff that's been in the old trailers, but this one, man, I have been kind of like, I'm going to see it. It's a Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man's my favorite comic book character. I got a tattoo of him right here. When I lose my weight, I'll take off my shirt and show it. But right now, you guys don't want to see that. You probably won't even... Spider-Man will look like he's really let himself go.
Gotta tighten him up a bit.
But the nice thing is that since all my hair is turning gray, I have hair on my back. You don't notice now because I'm so pasty white that the gray hair just goes again, you know.
You know the whole ambiance of your tattoo back there.
Yeah. She get into Spidey Deadpool. They're like intermixing with Spidey Deadpool in the future, and Spider-Man in the future still has all his Spidey powers, but he's in a wheelchair. So I should get a wheelchair tattoo. But he's just flipping back and forth, but he's still strapped to his wheelchair. And old man Deadpool is just really skinny and thin, but he's got a gray beard like down to here. It's good. And even if you don't read Spidey Deadpool, you should read that. That's a really good comic book. Anyway, back to Ant-Man and the Wasp. I had to actually look it up. Like, is it called The Ant-Man and the Wasp? Ant-Man and Wasp, but Ant-Man and the Wasp. Mm-hmm. I liked everybody in the movie. The little girl, I'm hard on child actors, and she was really good. Mm-hmm. Even better than she was in the first one. And I love Bobby Cannavale in this film. His ex, I don't know if they were ever married, but it's his ex-girlfriend's husband. He's always playing a villain, a bad guy, a badass, and in this he's always huggy and just such a super nice guy, and he's just like charming as all hell. I'm like, and I kind of have a little tiny thing for Judy Greer, and she plays the little kid's mom. She was the mom, and yeah, I like Judy Greer. She's funny as hell. God damn, it's hot out here.
I know.
I have to wring out my underwear when I get home. That won't smell too good.
That's a great picture.
The image will haunt my nightmares for the rest of my days.
I'll wake up sweating worse than I am right now.
Yeah. Just so you know, it's gonna take a second to get out of my ass crack because it's gonna
God.
really be like solid in there. I mean, this shit turns to like cement after a couple hours.
Well, I'm glad people are getting to hear what they want to about you now.
Yes, I need to be more honest with the viewers of these videos. God, look at getting that. I posted a picture the other day about me and my gray beard, and I've been shaving for like the last 2 years. I've not grown a beard because my beard went completely gray, and now it's like, oh, you know what? Why not?
I like the grays.
The hair is going gray anyway, and might as well quit fighting it. I'd rather go gray than go bald.
At least you have like the matching things. The people have like still the dark black beard and blonde hair, and
Oh, it all matches. I'll turn anything.
I walked into that.
Yes, you did. You've known me for way too long. That door was just like. You know, it's funny thinking about like when we used to hang out, because we used to hang out like constantly back in the day, late 90s, early 2000s. We were like inseparable for like years. I think that if there had been YouTube back then, 18 years ago, we would be doing this exact same thing, only we would be so fucking stoned right now.
Yes.
We like, seriously, me and her and my friend Brandon, we used to go through like an ounce of weed in 3 days. And like, that's not even an exaggeration. We totally did that once. But we would go to movies like this, and man, we had the camera back then. We'd be like,
we worked at a pizza place, so that was always a bonus.
Yeah. The pizza place that I invented something from and they stole from me.
Which one was that?
The Pizza Hut. I'm sure somebody else came up with the idea. I just like to think I was the first. I used to smoke tons of pot back then, like we just mentioned. I took a thin crust pizza, put a little bit of pepperoni or put some cheese and pepperoni and sauce on that, and then put a regular crust pizza, like a hand toss, on top of that, and made a pizza on top of it. So it was like a stuffed undercrust pizza. It was so good. And there was a supervisor there that day, and he came up. He was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, check this out." And it was a medium pizza, and I did it. And he's like, "Can I try some of that?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "This is really good." And then like, I quit, and like 6 months later, it was on the menu. I was so mad. I'd like to think I invented that, but
right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's probably what we've been doing. If YouTube had been around back then, there'd be just tons of records that we'd never, either one of us would ever get jobs, because people would type our names in and be like, "Oh, God, he doesn't even know where he's at. She passed out halfway through the video. What the fuck?" Well, anyway, I highly recommend Ant-Man and the Wasp. Very good movie. One trailer.
We should talk about that.
Yeah. Well, it's so hard. It's the Marvel film. Like, other movies are really, like Hotel Artemis. Hotel Artemis was an easy movie to talk about. Jurassic World. These are movies like that people don't really care if they get a little spoiled. Marvel films, man, people will come to your house with torches and pitchforks if you spoil these movies. There is a tie-in in the credits to Infinity War. I won't say any more than that about it, but stick around for the credits. I highly recommend you stick around for the very end credits, too. You will not be upset. If you thought the end of Spider-Man Homecoming had a great stinger at the very end of the movie, the end of the credits, ain't got nothing on this. It's got the greatest one ever. Oh, also, we got to mention, this is probably one of my new favorite Stan Lee cameos.
Oh, yeah.
Stan Lee has like he's in 10 seconds of cameo, and as Stan Lee can be.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, it's got a great story, great first act, second. There's no boring parts. At no point does it drag. It's just, it's what you've come to expect from Marvel, but it's good. Some movies can follow a formula and they start to get stale and old. Marvel keeps making it fresh. And if you're a comic book enthusiast, I mean, I'm a comic book nerd, but I don't know a lot about. I mean, I know that Hank Pym kind of is not the best guy in real life, in the comics, and in this they kind of discuss that. Like he's done some bad shit in his past.
Yeah, I do like how they would tie in like the past stuff. It wasn't like an info dump, but they still got it in enough to where you felt like you were right on track with it.
It was just enough exposition, and I like that Ant-Man is such a flawed hero. He screws up a lot. And there are so many movies where people screw up like this and they don't have any consequences for their actions. He has consequences.
He snaps back into it too. Like, messes up, he's like, okay, next.
Well, he knows there's a world outside of him and the world is bigger than him. So he has his moments where he's sad and he's like, shit, I got to figure this out. And then he jumps into it like, all right, I got to fix this. And he does. Well, I don't want to give away what happens, but it's a Marvel film. So go. I mean, most of you have probably already seen this by now. This video will probably get 4 views, and I might get 5 because some guy might see you and be like, "Hey, redheaded chick,
Right.
I wonder if she shows her boobies." I won't say not on camera, but not on YouTube.
Right.
One trailer I want to talk about, and then we'll end this because my
trailers.
balls are sweating off right now. Like they're like running down my legs. My leg hair is just like soaked. I can braid my leg hair. Like
Start dreading it up.
I mean, it looks like I have an afro on my leg. Actually, nowadays I never put my hair up wet, but I do it now so it stays mushed down because it frizzes out with all this humidity. Mm-hmm. But the one trailer I want to talk about is a trailer I've not seen until today, and that's How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
I cannot wait to see that. That looks so good. I love the first two. I think the second one was actually even better. I loved the second one of that. And God, I'm so happy about that.
Yes.
It said spring of next year. I'm like, why did you tell me now?
I know.
There's no way it's going to meet it because like all this like thinking like, oh my God, because when I did my top 10 from the year that came out, How to Train Your Dragon 2 was like my number 5 film that came out that year. I loved that movie. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that. But then there's another trailer I'm not so excited about. The Nutcracker live action thing that looks like it looks aesthetically beautiful but fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. It does not look good. It looks like it'll be fun to watch. It'll be one you want to see on the big screen. They'll have lots of great animation, but
yeah, or like to watch with kids on Christmas or something. But
yeah, but I think I have a bad feeling it'll be a lot like Through the Looking Glass, which visually was stunning. I mean, it really felt like you were in like a storybook land. But fuck, that movie was terrible, except for Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yes, I was about to say I loved him in that.
Sacha Baron Cohen's time is the only reason I stayed watching. I did not want to keep watching that movie. His performance is the only reason I kept watching it. That's the second worst Johnny Depp performance of all time, in my opinion. Second only to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I have to agree with that, yeah.
And the first Alice in Wonderland movie, I didn't hate as much as everybody else did, and I actually thought Johnny Depp was fine. Mm-hmm. But that's when you had Tim Burton directing a guy who knows how to let Johnny Depp be himself and still reel him back in. Mm-hmm. This director didn't. Probably the same guy who's directing this fucking, I don't know. We're going to get off here because it's so goddamn hot. Next week is Teen Titans Go. I don't know if you're going to come to that or not. I'm going to be there regardless if Jeremy's coming or not, so I might be doing solo with you. I don't know. But right now we're going to go play a game of I'll show you mine if you show me yours, and I get to go first. See you later.